that's right. Boo on Nancy Pelosi. That's who. We're going to look at the protests that have broken out in front of Pelosi's home. We're going to see the backlash that's rising up against the Democrats' lawlessness. And stick with the very end of this video when I'll reveal precisely why a civil war is breaking out on the political left like never before. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote. So come on in to your Patriot Professor's Den, where I help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy, turbulent, and increasingly anti-woke times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, if you have an IRA, 401k, or savings account, things are getting pretty scary out there, aren't they? The Biden administration has already printed more money in the past 2 years than the previous 100 years combined. How do you like that? The national debt just hit a record $30 trillion, and inflation is the highest we've seen since 1982. Obviously, it's only a matter of time before the economic house of cards comes crashing down. And if you've got retirement savings, your money could be at serious risk. But there is hope. Talk to my friends at Goldco to find out how you can protect your retirement with gold and silver before it's too late. And you're going to absolutely love this. Get this. You ready? Click on that link below or go to my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com, and they will give you, get this, up to $10,000 in free silver when you open up an account. You heard that right. $10,000 in free silver. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com. And I certainly do. All right, let's dive right in here. Poor little Nancy Pelosi. Just hours after she encouraged woke leftists to protest in front of the homes of the 5 conservative Supreme Court justices who are poised to overturn Roe v. Wade, she got a dose of her own medicine. We're seeing karma happen right in front of us, aren't we? A group of woke protesters assembled outside of Pelosi's palatial abode, declaring that she too has been complicit in chiseling away at women's rights. Well, take a look.
I'm here because I care about the next generation. I'm here because this is a blatant war on women and other uterus-bearing individuals. You know how you know that this is a war on women, non-binary, and other uterus-bearing individuals? Because if life begins at conception, why the hell doesn't child support? Woo. That's what I want to know. Speaker Pelosi, this will be your legacy. 35 years of your reign of terror. You had a supermajority under Obama, under which this should have been your top priority. Why did you keep this on the table? Because this is your most effective fundraising tool. That's why. That's why you kept this on the table. And what's always your response? Oh, the Republicans. Oh, the Republicans. Oh, the Republicans who control all 3 branches of government.
No, you gotta vote harder.
Oh, the Republicans, after you, Steny Hoyer, and Jim Clyburn traveled to Texas to endorse an anti-abortion incumbent over Jessica Cisneros. What's her name?
Jessica Cisneros.
What's her name?
Jessica Cisneros.
Yes, you heard it here first. Women and other uterus-bearing individuals. Uterus-bearing individual. That's the world we're living in right now. That's considered the educated class. Meantime, as all that's going on, there does seem to be a serious backlash against the Democrats and their call for woke leftists to harass conservative Supreme Court justices in their homes. Ted Cruz is leading the charge against the woke left and their selective enforcement of the law. Take a look.
Complete hypocrisy. You see this in the corporate media. You see this among Democrats. On January 6th of 2021, you had tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting, and yet the corporate media and Democrats slander them with the made-up term insurrectionist. And yet, in this instance, they are not willing to call off their goons even now as this has the potential to escalate and escalate further.
Yeah, and it's also illegal. Right? It's just blatantly illegal. Even the left-wing loons over the Washington Post admit that protesting in front of Supreme Court justice homes is illegal. So whenever Schumer says, oh, my house gets protested all the time, it's not the same thing as protesting a sitting Supreme Court justice who's supposed to be above the partisan fray. But that does bring us back to the woke protest in front of Pelosi's home. Obviously, at one level, this is to be expected, right? This self-sabotaging of leftists protesting leftists. I mean, after all, if you don't know what a woman is, how do you know what a friend is, or an ally, or an enemy for that matter? Categorical distinctions, if they really are all just social constructs, as we're told, well, then they don't actually exist. And so friends can, in point of fact, turn out to be enemies, depending on, of course, how you define both. And definitions are, for the woke, fluid, at least the ones they want to be. So just at a logical level, leftists turning against leftists is highly predictable, given that words and terms have no objective meaning. They're all just social constructs for the expression of personal sentiment. However, this example of the left turning on the left, it actually goes much deeper. And here I'm indebted to the work of the conservative author Joseph Bottom, who argues that wokeness is, in point of fact, a secular religion, or what we might more precisely refer to as a pseudo-religion, a false substitution for food feeding spiritual hunger. And this is where it actually gets very interesting in terms of the explanatory power of what's happening here between leftists and Nancy Pelosi. One of the distinctions that Bottom makes is between elites and the elect. All right, so you've got your elites and you've got your elect, the elect being a biblical term for the chosen of God. For Bottom, he argues that in our current secular age, when we ask, what is a good person? You know, how do I know I'm a good person? Or more in more distinctively religious terms, how do I know I'm saved? Well, historically, of course, particularly here in the West, the answer to those questions generally drew from distinctively Christian frames of reference. Christianity provided the moral frame of reference for understanding the nature of meaning and morality in our lives. However, in a highly secularized age, where Christianity has been increasingly marginalized from the public square, particularly among our elite, our political, corporate, and media elite, more and more of them have been answering questions like, how do I know I'm saved? How do I know I'm good? In relation to their posture towards social ills, to perceived social injustices. If I'm anti-racist, if I stand up against misogyny and transphobia, then I can have the assurance to know that I'm a good person and I am in effect saved. And so Joseph Bottom argues that this religion of wokeness is actually creating prophets that see themselves as the elect, in effect, the chosen ones. And here's the key: chosen among whom? What is the larger group from which you've been chosen? And the answer is the elite. So from this vantage point, all the elect are elite, from the class of the elite. But not all the elite are elect, in that there are plenty of elite who are interested in things other than perceived social injustices. And so inevitably, according to this Joseph Bottom, inevitably you get an intra-class warfare between the elect and the elite. And that is, I think, exactly what we've been seeing, at least over the last year and a half. We've been seeing nothing less than a civil war rising up within the liberal left. And we saw that, of course, during the summer of 2020, and the burning down of our cities, where virtually all the protesters were in effect demonstrating against liberal Democrat mayors and city councils. They certainly weren't fighting against Republicans. And as I pointed out in a number of videos, this was all about a clash between the forces of the new left versus the old bougie left, right? It's the BLM Antifa left versus the old establishment white liberal left. Or in Joseph Bottom's terms, the elect left versus the elite left. And this is a civil war that has broken out from within the liberal left. And if Bottom's analysis is right, it's only just getting started. Or perhaps better, it's going to be a permanent part of the left. If the new woke left is the elect, the chosen ones to stand up against perceived social injustices that the elite left allowed to fester, that the elite left presided over. Sound familiar? then this is now a permanent part of the new left, this intra-class warfare between the elite and the elect. And look, we've been arguing now for the last several weeks that wokeism is splitting the left. Wokeism is fracturing and splintering the left, right? This is coming from data compiled by University of London scholar Eric Kaufman, where he draws from a number of surveys that all show the exact same thing. When you ask Democrats if they support some woke agenda, do you support CRT being taught to our schools? Do you support transgender athletes competing in male sports? The answers generally split down the middle. About 50% say yes, 50% say no. Well, what do you know? That's your elect versus elite. But when you ask Republicans the very same question, what's their answer? Right? It's a resounding unanimous no. It's a resounding hell no. So what woke issues are doing is they're splitting the left and uniting the right. And now we can see why the left is so divided. Wokeism is a religion. It's an elitist religion among elites, in that there are plenty of elites who want nothing to do with it. And as the elect and the elites clash, a united and rallying right is rising up to take our nation back. Now, before you go, you definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on Elon Musk reversing Trump's Twitter ban and what it all means for the future of wokeism. For them woke people, it ain't good. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.